Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Mama Mama Haudipela and it really feels good to be back with another video. I have been slowly recovering from a flu that I didn't know I had. Have you guys ever felt sick but you didn't really know you were sick? You just thought that you were tired. Well, that was me this past week. While I was busy doing my patio makeover, I felt like I was getting more tired than I normally would, especially considering the amount of work that I was doing. But I just didn't think that I was sick or anything like that. But it turned out that I had a little bit of a chest infection. So, yeah, I am recovering. I'm feeling good. I feel like today my energy is back. And that is why on a Saturday, I am actually cleaning my house. I normally don't clean or do anything in my house on weekends. Weekends are my time to just relax and, take the time for myself. But today I'm feeling much better because I took 2 days of just relaxing and just allowing my body to recover. So I hope you guys will enjoy this video. And if this is your type of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I woke up very early this morning and I did some ironing, and right now all I'm doing is cleaning up the upstairs. I wanted to change the bedding in my bedroom. My house bedding was fine, so all I needed to do in here was just to make the bed, vacuum the floors, and hang her clothes, and also clean up her bathroom. The rest of the house will be cleaned next week. All I've been doing throughout the days when I haven't been feeling well is making sure that the floors are vacuumed when there is like dust that needs to be cleaned up, and also packing up all the toys and anything else that may be lying around the house. But other than that, I have been doing very little to no work in the house, and I am glad that it actually doesn't look as bad as it would normally when it's not cleaned up. So Mahao has been behaving. She's been helping to pack her toys as she normally does. And yeah, I really am blessed to have her being the way that she is, being able to clean up after herself. But she does need a little bit of encouragement every once in a while when she doesn't really feel like doing it. But she has taken it on quite nicely. One of the hardest things for me right now is raising a girl child, especially considering the kind of environment that we are living in right now. Earlier this week, in case you have missed it on the news, there has been a story that has been going viral about South Africans trying to advertise opportunities for young girls in Russia, where they are getting lured into getting into jobs that sounds like they are promising, but in reality look like they might be disguising some incidents of human trafficking. And there has been a big hoo-ha even from politicians and big news companies where they have been talking about how we should be protecting ourselves and that this is not something that we should be considering and how unsafe it is. And raising a girl child, for me, those are the things that keep me awake at night. Anything from having issues with their bodies, having issues with their mental state, and when you think about the future and the kind of person that they're going to be and who they're going to meet in life and who they're going to marry, the kind of mother they're going to be, everything stems from all the teachings that you impart on them while they are still young. I take that very seriously, and it is kind of difficult considering the amount of influence that they tend to come across now. Back in our days, we were not getting this much influence all at once. the only kind of influence that you were getting was from your teachers, what from your parents, and the kind of people that you lived close to. But lately, it seems like influence is from everywhere. Not so long ago, Mahal came home, and in one of her plays, she was talking to me, and she started talking about how she doesn't want to have a big stomach, how she's worried her stomach is big. I am talking about a 4-year-old. I mean, me and my husband, we don't have six-pack abs, where I would say she got all these issues about her bodies from us. But it's amazing that a 4-year-old can go to school and come back and be talking about body issues like she is. Even though I tried to talk her out of it, I am every day trying to get that out of her head. But every once in a while, she still brings it up how she doesn't want her stomach to be big. She wants her stomach. Her stomach is looking flat after eating, and it is worrying for me as a parent that at the age of 4, we are already having to deal with this. And when you look at this story that was just in the news, it's like another element that, okay, now I need to make them conscious of the fact that there is kidnapping, there is human trafficking, and it's just too much for us to deal with as parents. But I don't want to slip up as a parent and not be in a position where I equip my child to be able to protect themselves. But how do you do it without instilling fear within your child about the world that we live in? There is so much that they still have to experience each and every single day. But how do we instill the knowledge within them without having them being buried in fear? When you look back at how we used to live at the age of 5, 6, we were going to school on our own, not worried about somebody snatching you. I mean, we used to walk kilometers to school, not worried about being snatched up on the road or something like that. But our parents did still teach us about it. But now it's like even a 10-year-old is not safe on the road. And it is kind of like a sad situation that we have to live with as parents, and also for the young kids. So you guys will definitely not believe me when I tell you that, like, about 20 minutes ago, I didn't know what I was going to cook for lunch or dinner. I don't know what time we're going to eat, so it might be like an early dinner. But I was on my way to the shops. That's why my handbag is here. But before I left, I decided, you know what? Let me try and see what I have in the fridge that I can sort of like start cooking and putting together. And then after that, I'll decide from that what I need to add on to the menu for the rest of the meal. Because I didn't go grocery shopping this week, so I didn't have a lot of stuff in the house that I would normally make, like on a Sunday for a Sunday lunch. But I decided to start putting together things that I have around in my fridge, and I came up with a meal. The first thing I made was coleslaw. So I had a little bit of cabbage. I always have carrot in the fridge, so I was able to make some coleslaw. And the other day I harvested a lot of lettuce, so of course I told you guys we will be having salad with every meal, so I was able to put together a salad. And then the only thing that I knew I was going to make was the trout, because my husband said he wanted to have some trout. So I made some trout, and then I had only 2 pieces of sweet potato. So I took one of them, I chopped it up. I'm going to put it in the oven and roast it, and I'm going to put it in some couscous salad. Normally when I make the couscous salad, I will add the roast peppers. I will add like robot peppers and onion and some sun-dried tomatoes and all of that. But because I don't have that, I'm going to add some sweet potato, some green pepper, some onion, some sun-dried tomatoes, and add it together with the couscous and make a couscous salad. And then from there, I think I am done. And I don't think I need to go to the shops anymore. Probably for my house next, but we won't be here for the entire week. So I probably don't even need to go and buy the snacks. she can have all the fruits that's in the fridge and over there. So yeah, I actually managed to put a meal together without even going to the shop, so I'm very proud of myself for doing that. So next time, if you think about going to the shops, before you go, try and clear out your fridge and see if there's anything in there that you can use up and make your meals. And another thing that I did, I think about 2 weeks ago, I bought a big bag of tomatoes. So I have not been able to get through the whole bag of tomatoes. Right now I've got I think half of the bag cooking in the pot with some tomato paste, some basil, and some salt and pepper, and I'm going to store that to make the pasta, the sauce for the pasta tomorrow. So I didn't want to have the tomatoes go to waste, because since I'm going away this weekend again, so it means I won't have a chance to use them throughout the week. So I'm going to use up some of them in the sauce, and then the other half I'm going to store in the freezer, cooked, ready for another meal next time. So yeah, I think I'm done. I'm just gonna have a cup of coffee and sit down in the meantime, but I'm gonna put my fish and sweet potato in the oven, and then I'm going to get the couscous ready. So now I mean, when it comes to body issues, growing up, I grew up as a fat kid. I think my first time losing weight, I was in varsity, and I wasn't really thinking about how fat or not fat I am until it started becoming a topic amongst the family, amongst my schoolmates and those type of things, when people start saying stuff to you. But I would say within my primary school years, it wasn't a big deal. It was only when I started getting to high school that my body started becoming a topic, and it was just too much for me, and I started having issues of wanting to lose weight, but I didn't know how to do it. And if I start thinking about the amount of diets that I started to look up, and back in the days, I mean, it was when we were still watching Oprah was going through her weight loss thing on TV. So she was one of the biggest influences for me when it comes to wanting to lose weight. And I used to watch a lot of Oprah Winfrey and Dr. Phil. So you can imagine the amount of psychology and mental gymnastics that went on in my head while watching those two. But anywho, my mom used to, talk about my weight. I don't think she meant any harm with it, but it became a topic that I never wanted to talk about. And even when she was saying the right stuff, it felt like it was an attack. In here I have tomatoes cooking with some tomato paste, some basil, some salt and pepper, and I just added a little bit of onion. I made a little bit too much onion for the couscous, so I just put the rest of it in here. And I'm thinking of adding some garlic, but I'll add it later. I don't want it to boil too much. I don't like the taste of it when it's overcooked. So this is the parsley that I had frozen in the freezer in a tray of ice cubes. So I just added it in there for some flavor. So it was only in high school that it started to make sense, when one of my teachers, her name was Miss Marong. Yes, I think she used to call herself Tembi Magagula. And yeah, she was quite a good teacher. I used to love her humor. So one day she called me to the side and she had a talk with me about my body. She wasn't so much worried about my weight. She was also kind of like a big woman herself. But she had a talk with me, and the one thing that she made clear was you need to be careful of the body type that you have. The biggest thing that you're going to have to deal with your body is the kind of men that you're going to attract. At that point, I saw the love and passion that she talked to me with in that moment. She didn't make it a joke, she didn't make it a spectacle, but she just said to me, you are going to attract the wrong type of men with the type of body that you have. So you need to be careful because men will come to you for the wrong reasons. She didn't even have to say that I was fat or I had a big ass and all of those type of things, but I knew that's what she meant because my big ass has always been a topic of discussion. Everybody mentioned about how big my behind is, and yeah, it was just something that I was aware of. So it was at that moment where I realized that there is really a need for me to learn to protect myself and also care for my body as well. And I tell you that when I got to varsity and I was in control of what I was eating, what I was putting on my plate, and I didn't have anything to worry about in terms of the snacks and everything. I think in high school I tried to lose weight, but it was a bit difficult because the amount of snacks that we were exposed to at school, it was just difficult for me to have that discipline. But when I got to varsity, I didn't know anyone, I didn't have any friends, and I got there and I started eating healthy. All I did was boil my food and grill my meat. I used to cook my own food. I didn't eat from cafeteria. By the end of my first year, I had lost so much weight. I think I went from like a size 42 to a size 34 within the first year of varsity. And that is when my life changed. And I realized that the mental impact it had on me. That is why even now at the big weight that I am right now, I'm not even at the highest weight that I was as a kid. You can imagine me as a 18-year-old child with the kind of body that I have right now as a mother. I was bigger than this as a child. So now being an adult carrying this weight, I know that my mental state is so much better than where I was as a child. And now being a mother and all of that, I realized that okay, my body goes through changes and all those type of things, and menopause being just around the corner, there will always be changes, but I am trying my best to get to a point where I am maintaining my weight for the right reason and also to be a good example to my child. So what I'm saying is I will not make Mahao have issues about her body. And because I have experienced the shame that comes with having a big body, I will not be the kind of parent that will shame my daughter for having any kind of body. So if she gets to a point where she needs to lose weight, yes, I will talk to her with love, but I will not do it in a way where she will feel ashamed of who she is and think that her value is tied to how she looks. To some extent, yes, it is, but to a larger extent, there is more to you than just your physical body. And I want her to understand that she needs to develop herself mentally, emotionally, and also physically, but there has to be a balance across all of these different areas. So raising a girl child is kind of overwhelming. Sometimes I wish I could change scenarios and have a boy in order to balance all of these things. You know, when you have a girl and a boy, you feel like you can balance left, and then even the two of them can teach each other things. But she's the only one I have, and she is a girl. So I will have to have my boots strapped on and make sure that I am not raising a child that will easily be taken advantage of by boys and all those type of things. It's a new day. I am feeling so much better and I am back to walking. I think one of my followers on Instagram challenged me to go back to doing my steps because I've been complaining about gaining weight and missing my old body. So yeah, I have gone through a hip injury recently and my back has been killing me. Funny enough, I'm able to do all of these houseworks and stuff, but the minute I start exercising, the pain is just unbearable. So what I have done now is I have just gone back to focus on walking. I will not be going to the gym unless I feel 100% recovered, because every time I go back to the gym or doing like strenuous exercises, my hip and my back just starts to complain again. But now that I'm feeling a whole lot better, I am going back to walking. So I am going to start off by walking and see how much progress I can get and get to a place where I am happy with my fitness. And But I do doubt that I will definitely be going back to the gym, because after a couple of weeks at the gym, I am back to a place where I am in pain again, and I don't want to rely on medication in order to get through exercise. So if I can survive walking, then walking will be my form of exercise. Maybe I will try yoga and Pilates, those type of things. But it's just that at my gym, their schedule are just in a time where it doesn't really suit me. But yeah, let's see how far the walking goes. I've been at it now for a couple of days and I'm feeling good. So I hope we will be able to keep this up. After making myself a very nice and healthy breakfast, I decided to take it up to my favorite spot and just enjoy my breakfast in peace under the shade and getting a little bit of sun as well. It felt good being outside walking and, just taking a moment to get away from the house. Sometimes I forget just how good that feels. And having this spot now, it's just the icing on the cake to just get out of the house while still being at home and get into my own space. So I've just finished taking a shower. I didn't comb my hair. Please don't judge me. My hair is falling out like crazy, so I didn't feel like doing any vacuuming after that. So I just didn't comb my hair. But I wanted to talk to you about my latest project in my house. In my previous video where I was doing my PDO makeover, I talked about wasted space, and there is one space in my house that I feel has a lot of potential and a lot of wasted space, and it just doesn't fit the way that I use my house anymore. When I was working and now that I'm home full time, some of the things that I used to do, I do differently. And that one thing is laundry. I used to do my laundry like at night and also on Saturdays. So anything that needed to be hand washed, I would be washing it on Saturdays and I would do it outside. But now that I am home all the time, I tend to do my laundry super early in the morning. And back then, I didn't have to worry about my house clothes getting as dirty as they are now. Funny enough, when she was a baby, everything was kind of manageable. But now, at this age, it's like the clothes are just so dirty that I literally have to hand wash each and every single item that she wears. But my laundry space is one of those spaces. So I'm going to take you in there. I'm going to tell you what my issues are with the space. It's a small space, it's a dark space. So I hope you will be able to see what I am trying to explain and my vision for the space. So as you can see, this is my laundry slash guest toilet, and right now I have my house clothes soaking in this bucket right here. And half the time I would be able to kind of do the laundry in the sink if it's like just socks and stuff. But now it's like it's a lot of stuff that I need to wash. So this space and it's just not doing the job. I end up with a lot of water on the floor, on the walls, and it's just getting frustrating. And when you look at this whole entire side, it's just the washing machine, and there's like space here that can be used. There is space to the walls that can be used, and I just feel like there is more to this room that can be put to good use than we are at the moment. So right now we have the light on. I have explained in my previous video that ever since we did an extension on the garage, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a shadow here. So that is where our garage ends, and it's creating a lot of shadow in this space. Previously, when I did changes to our space, we added the wallpaper, and we added this wallpaper, and I picked this wallpaper because of the black tile. So now I'm just gonna turn off the light and show you how dark it is in here without the light on. So as you can see, this is how it looks without the light on. So now I am torn when it comes to the new design of the space. Do I go with light colors that will make this space look brighter, or do I just lean on the fact that this is a dark space and just play with the darkness of the room? So that is something that I am considering in terms of this room, taking into account the fact that I will not be changing the wallpaper. I love this wallpaper and it was an expensive wallpaper, so I want to keep the wallpaper. I love the look and feel of it. But the problem is the tile. I don't want to put in tile again, and I don't want to rip this one out. So I have an option to either rip this tile out and do a painted wall. But my only concern is this wall where the toilet is. So I can't leave only that wall, but I would be tempted to just take out the entire tile and go with a plastered wall. But I can't do that. Another thing that I can do in here is add cabinetry for space. So I'm just zooming out on these views just so you can see how small or big this space is. So this space from here to there is about 2 meters. So my vision for this is to have a full counter from here to there and a drop-in sink where I can be able to do the laundry and have a little bit of counter space to put anything that I'm using, like the brushes, the soaps, and all those type of things. And another thing is to add in cabinetry going all the way up to the ceiling. As you have seen in my village home, I have a cabinet above the washing machine. So I'm thinking of doing the same thing, but I also want to put in like a cabinet that is going to store my ironing board and my step ladder. That way I can move stuff out of my pantry, which is a little bit overcrowded at the moment, and then have them stored in here. I have worked out a design. Whether I would like it in real life as I have in the sketches is a different story. But what I'm thinking is doing a cabinet all the way up to the ceiling. That way I will be able to store all my soaps and anything that is to do with laundry, and a cabinet on the side that is going to store my ironing board and step ladder. And also, because behind this washing machine there is a plug. This room didn't have a plug, so we put in an outlet, and we had to do sort of like an outdoor outlet because there is water next to it, and if we don't do that, the insurance wasn't going to approve for us to do that. So that's why we ended up doing that plug. But now that plug is pushing the machine forward. So now I'm going to take this machine and move it here, and then above that cabinet, that plug, we are going to have a cabinet going up, and then another cabinet up there. I'm going to have floating shelves, and I'm going to have another cabinet over here where I'm going to have my countertop and my sink, and underneath here I'm going to have plenty of storage. So now let's talk color. In terms of color, if I wanted to do a option that is going to make the room look lighter and brighter, I would have to do white cabinets. If I'm going to do a white cabinet, I really don't feel like I would want to have a black tile with a white cabinet, even though the white cabinet will add to the brightness of the room. And another option is to do black. When I'm doing black, I'm going to do a black, and I still have the black tile, so it's kind of like leaning into that black, into that dark look that I have in there, which is another look that I've been looking into. I've looked at Pinterest at ideas on having a dark laundry room, and I've seen some very nice and amazing pictures. So when it comes to doing a dark laundry room, I'm not really scared, because I know that it's possible for it to look good. But right now I'm just scared to see how it's going to look like when it's all done. But I have already picked the color. I just don't know how it will look when it's all done, but I'm looking forward to having a space that is very functional. And I won't be changing the floors. The floors right now are a vinyl floor. I would have loved to do like a stone look floor, but I don't have the budget to change it right now, and the vinyl flooring is still doing its thing right now. So I'm just going to keep the flooring. I'm keeping the wall tile for now, and I'm keeping the wallpaper. I'm basically moving the vanity that is in here out and putting in new cabinetry that is going to allow me to have the laundry of my dreams. So I am excited to share that with you, and I hope you guys will be tuned into the next coming weeks, when I will be sharing with you the progress of how that will be going, if it will work, if it just becomes disastrous and we just end up having to rip out the tiles, which is something that I'm not hoping happens. I'm hoping that we can work around keeping the tiles and make it look good. So I will keep my fingers crossed, but I'm definitely excited to get the space working as it should. And guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I am Mabatu Mamhaudi Pila. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all very soon in another one. Bye bye.